200 angels just declared war on heaven. Before the flood wiped the ancient world clean. Before Noah built his ark. Before humanity spiraled into an age of blood and secrets that were never meant for human hands. One man was chosen to witness it all. His name was Enoch. The seventh generation from Adam, and the story he left behind was so dangerous it vanished from history for centuries. Until Aramaic fragments resurfaced in the Dead Sea caves at Qumran. A complete copy was found preserved in the Ethiopian language of Ge'ez. This is the Book of Enoch, a composite ancient work of 5 separate texts, and what it reveals will change everything you thought you knew about the Bible. The Book of Enoch opens not with a whisper, but with a warning. Chapter 1 declares these are the words of blessing from Enoch himself, written not for his own generation, but for a distant one yet to come. He speaks of a day when the Holy and Great One will come forth from his dwelling and tread upon the earth at Mount Sinai. On that day, the watchers will quake, the mountains will be shaken, and the hills will melt like wax before the flame. It is a vision of total cosmic reckoning delivered by a man whose eyes, the text says, were opened by God. But who exactly was Enoch? Genesis chapter 5 gives us only a brief glimpse. He walked with God, and then he was not, for God took him. Just 2 verses. No death recorded, no burial mentioned. He simply vanished. The Book of Enoch claims to tell us where he went and what he saw. Now here is where the story takes its darkest turn. Chapters 6 through 8 describe an event Genesis barely hints at. In the days of Jared, the 6th generation from Adam and Enoch's own father, 200 angelic beings known as the Watchers, looked down from heaven and saw that the daughters of men were beautiful. Their leader, a powerful angel named Semjaza, proposed they descend to earth, take human wives, and father children. But Semjaza hesitated. He feared he alone would bear the punishment for this great sin. So the Watchers made a pact. All 200 swore a binding oath and descended upon the summit of Mount Hermon. The text tells us they called it by that name because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. They were organized into ranks, 20 chiefs commanding units of 10. This was no casual rebellion. It was carefully calculated and irreversible. What happened next shattered the natural order of the world. The Watchers took human wives. From these unions came the Nephilim, towering giants who stood 300 cubits tall according to some manuscripts. They consumed everything humanity could produce. When the food ran out, the giants turned on the people themselves. The text says they began to devour one another and drink blood. But physical destruction was only half the catastrophe. The Watchers taught humanity things that were never supposed to be known. Azazel taught men to forge swords, knives, shields, and breastplates. He revealed the metals of the earth and the art of working them. He showed women the use of antimony and the beautifying of the eyelids and all kinds of costly stones and coloring tinctures. Semjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Barakijal taught astrology. Kokabel revealed the constellations. Ezekiel shared the knowledge of the clouds. Shamsiel taught the signs of the sun. Sariel disclosed the course of the moon. These were not gifts, they were weapons. The text says there arose much godlessness, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. As humanity perished, their cries ascended to heaven. 4 archangels witnessed the devastation. Michael, who watches over the best of mankind, Uriel, who presides over the world in Tartarus, Raphael, guardian of the spirits of men, and Gabriel, who oversees paradise and the cherubim. They brought the case before the Most High, declaring that Azazel had taught all unrighteousness on earth and revealed the eternal secrets preserved in heaven. And God responded. He commanded Raphael to bind Azazel hand and foot and cast him into the desert of Dudal, a desolate barren wasteland covering him with jagged stones until the great day of judgment. Gabriel received orders to turn the giants against one another, and Michael was told to bind Semjaza and his associates for 70 generations beneath the earth. But before the sentence fell, God needed a messenger, someone righteous enough to carry divine words into the heart of this rebellion. That messenger was Enoch, the scribe of righteousness, the one man in all of creation chosen to record the judgments of the heavenly court. And what he witnessed next would become the most buried testimony in religious history. Enoch did not just hear the voice of God. He stood before his throne. The Watchers had fallen. The Nephilim had ravaged the earth. God had issued his sentence. But before archangels carried out that judgment, one man was sent to deliver the verdict face to face. That man was Enoch, the scribe of righteousness. Chapters 12 through 16 record an extraordinary commission. The Watchers, terrified of their looming punishment, begged Enoch to intercede with God on their behalf. He agreed and traveled to the waters of Dan, south of Hermon, and read aloud their petition until sleep took him. And then the visions began. Enoch describes being carried through walls of crystal fire into the presence of the Most High. He saw a structure of crystal stones surrounded by tongues of living flame. Its floor was crystal. Its foundation was crystal. The ceiling resembled the course of the stars with lightning between them. Among the stars were fiery cherubim. Beneath the throne flowed rivers of blazing fire. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before the Almighty, yet he needed no counselor. None of the angels could enter and behold his face by reason of the magnificence and glory. No flesh could look upon him. Then God spoke directly to Enoch. His words were devastating. He said, "Go back and tell the Watchers, you should intercede for men and not men for you. You have left the high and eternal heaven and lain with women and defiled yourselves. You were holy, possessing a life without death. but you corrupted yourselves with the blood of women. Your petition will not be granted throughout all the days of eternity. No pardon. No reprieve. Their children, the Nephilim giants, would be annihilated. And what happened to their spirits afterward is a detail most people never encounter. According to chapter 15, when the Nephilim perished, their spirits did not ascend to heaven or descend to the abode of the dead. Instead, evil spirits emerged from their flesh. These became the demonic forces that lead humanity into corruption, violence, and spiritual ruin, generation after generation. The text declares they shall destroy without incurring judgment until the day of the great consummation. This is the origin of demons according to the Book of Enoch. Think about that. Every unclean spirit in the Gospels, every dark force the apostles confronted, traces back in this tradition to the slaughtered offspring of the Watchers. Now the narrative opens into something vast. From chapter 17 through 36, the Archangels escort Enoch to the very edge of creation itself. He witnesses the storehouses of the winds and the cornerstone of the earth. He sees a mountain of fire burning day and night. Beyond it, a place where 7 stars are bound together, blazing in torment. The angel Uriel explains, these are stars which transgress the command of God and are punished for 10,000 years. He sees the mountain of the dead, a hollow place with 4 compartments where the souls of the departed are held until the final reckoning. Raphael tells him these chambers exist so the righteous and wicked do not share the same space. He beholds the tree of life, a fragrant tree no mortal may touch until after the great judgment. He witnesses Jerusalem, the center of the earth and the accursed valley where the condemned will gather at the end of days. But all of this is merely prologue to the most explosive revelation in the entire book. Chapters 37 through 71 are known as the Book of Parables. No fragments of this section were found at Qumran. A separate text called the Book of Giants occupied its place, fueling intense scholarly debate. But what the parables contain shook the foundations of theology. Enoch is shown a figure seated on a throne of glory. He asks the angel who this being is, and the angel responds that this is the Son of Man, the chosen one, whose purpose is to judge the wicked and reveal all hidden wisdom. The Son of Man existed before the stars were made and was named before the sun and moon were formed. Kings will fall before him. Every oppressor will be stripped of power. He will sit upon the throne of glory and all judgment will be committed to him. Then comes the passage that stuns scholars to this day. In chapter 71, Enoch himself is brought before the throne, and the angel declares, "You are the Son of Man who is born unto righteousness." The text identifies Enoch with this cosmic figure of eternal judgment. Whether this represents prophetic enthronement or a messianic title pointing to a future redeemer has been debated for centuries. What cannot be denied is that this book placed the title Son of Man into the theological vocabulary of the ancient world long before it was spoken in Galilee, and the visions were not finished. What comes next maps the architecture of the cosmos itself. The end was written before the world began. The Watchers fell. The Nephilim bled the earth. Enoch stood before God's throne and saw the Son of Man seated in judgment. Now the Book of Enoch reveals its final vision. The full arc of human history told through celestial science, prophetic dreams, and a letter to every generation that would follow. And the warnings feel more urgent today than ever before. Chapters 72 through 82 are the book of the heavenly luminaries. Uriel reveals to Enoch the laws governing the sun, moon, stars, and winds. Enoch is shown 6 portals in the east and 6 in the west through which the sun passes on its yearly journey. What makes this remarkable is its calendar, a solar year of 364 days, 4 seasons of 13 weeks each. This contradicts the lunar calendar later used in Jewish tradition. The Qumran community followed this Enochic calendar, proving it once held enormous authority. Then a warning inscribed in the stars. Chapter 80 declares, in the days of sinners, the years will be shortened, rain restrained, and the moon will alter her order. Fruits shall not grow in their season. Stars shall transgress their course, a cosmos in disorder from human wickedness. Now the dream visions arrive. Chapters 83 through 90 contain 2 prophetic dreams Enoch shares with his son Methuselah. The first is a terrifying vision of the coming deluge, where the earth is swallowed into a great abyss and Enoch weeps in anguish. The second dream is the animal apocalypse. It retells all of history through symbolic creatures. Adam is a white bull. Eve is a heifer. Cain and Abel are black and red calves. The Watchers appear as stars that fall from heaven and become bulls among the cattle. Their monstrous offspring are depicted as elephants, camels, and donkeys. Great beasts that devour and trample everything in their path. The allegory sweeps through the flood, Abraham, Egyptian bondage, the Exodus, judges and kings, the exile, and the rebuilding of the temple. Sheep represent Israel. Wolves and lions are hostile nations. 70 shepherds guard the flock but allow far more sheep to perish than God commanded, and every failure is recorded in a heavenly book. Then the vision reaches its climax. The sheep receive a great sword. A white bull with massive horns is born. All creatures bow before him. A new Jerusalem rises and every beast is changed. This is the Messiah, long foreseen from the foundation of the world. Chapters 91 through 108 form the Epistle of Enoch. Enoch speaks directly to his son Methuselah and through him to all future generations. Within this epistle lies the apocalypse of weeks. Enoch divides all of time into 10 ages. He is born in the first, an age of righteousness. Wickedness takes root in the second. Abraham comes in the third. The law arrives at Sinai in the fourth. The temple rises in the fifth. The people fall blind in the sixth. Apostasy grips the seventh, but at its close the righteous gain sevenfold wisdom. Pay attention to what follows. In the eighth, the righteous receive a sword. In the ninth, the world is marked for destruction. In the 10th, fire falls on the watchers and the old heaven is torn away forever. But there is one more scene this documentary must not pass over. Chapters 106 and 7 describe the birth of Noah. The child is born with a body white as snow and red as a rose, hair white as wool, and eyes that light up the entire house like the sun. His father Lamech is so terrified he runs to Methuselah, who seeks Enoch in the heavenly places. Enoch confirms the child is legitimate and that a great destruction is coming, but this child will survive and his seed will endure. Enoch closes with woes against sinners who oppress the just. Their wealth will not save them. The righteous, he promises, have their names written before the glory of the Great One. Now here is something that changes everything. This book was not unknown to the New Testament writers. Jude chapter 1 verses 14 and 15 directly quotes 1 Enoch. Writing that Enoch the seventh from Adam prophesied that the Lord comes with 10,000s of his holy ones to execute judgment upon all. 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 4 describes angels cast down to Tartarus in chains of darkness, language mirroring 1 Enoch almost exactly. It was read, cited, and trusted. Then silenced, buried at Qumran, forgotten by the West for over a millennium, preserved only by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, the one body that never removed it from Scripture. James Bruce carried it back to Europe in 1773. Richard Lawrence published the first English translation in 1821. Enoch declared in his opening verse that his vision was not for his own time, but for a remote generation yet to come. That generation may be ours.